You gotta do something. You gotta do something. You see those people, they don't do nothing. How long do you like those people? You don't. If you say, I don't know, I don't like alcoholics, but I love heroin, I'm in. If you say you suck toast for breakfast, I'm in. You gotta do something.
Meet somebody, they don't do nothing.
Yeah.
You meet somebody, they don't do nothing.
Uh-huh.
They don't do nothing.
Like
They don't date. They don't do drugs. They don't play checkers. They don't do nothing. How long do you like those people for? You don't. I like people with a little bit of edge to them. They got to do something. If you tell me I don't like alcoholics, but I love heroin, I'm in. If you tell me you suck toes for breakfast, I'm in. You got to do something.
Now, in the great words of Joey Diaz, of course. But today I'm actually going to be hitting something a little bit better. If you got to do something, we're going to be talking about the MPs across Australia, of course, who love expenses. And when I'm talking about expenses, I mean they're expensive. Did you know if you're an Australian Member of Parliament, you can just, I don't know, take your family on holidays, spend fucking $1,700 on a dinner when you got people in our country who can't even afford to eat, can't even afford their rent. We have the highest housing prices ever. We have the biggest cost of living crisis ever. But you too can try and be a member of parliament and spend $700 on a dinner in Paris because we're representing the people. We're for you. That dinner was for you. Your vote gave that dinner. You should be proud of that. Now, we're going to be going through a few, just rattling them off. Of course, you know, everyone should really know that basically a bunch of senior politicians, including Anika Wells, one of the members of parliament, was come undone. Basically, if you didn't know, expenses that politicians produce, basically what they spend money on and claim it as a deduction or on their, for lack of a better term, public funded credit card. They have to kind of publish these. They have to put them out there and say, this is what we spend it on. They don't usually give you a full itemized list unless they get released. But, I mean, it's not looking good, mate. Like, far out. So there's a fair few of them. I'll get to it. But basically, one of them was the old Anika Wells. Now, she has been spending fucking heaps. Whew. Alrighty. So I just had to lock in and, get some of the expenses up because I didn't want to get this wrong because, I mean, it probably wouldn't even matter if I kind of bumped up those numbers because this is kind of astronomical. So, of course, we have the Independent Parliamentary Expenses Authority. It's basically an authority or a governing body that goes through the claims of parliamentary expenses. It's supposed to be independent. However, fucking took this long for these expenses to come out. Kind of shameful. So this has only just happened recently, and the Albanese government, basically, since 2022, when they took office, there have been 4 million Australian dollars claimed for family flights from parliamentary members. Now, you may go, oh, this was members of parliament claiming flights. No. This is for flights for their family members, not even the members of parliament. So, like, if your great-grandma, if you're going to Paris to represent Australia, because you're the, I don't know, economics minister, you can bring great-aunt Betty to go fuck off to the Louvre. Like, you can just get a free holiday. Why don't you bring them all? Bring your extended family. Fly out 100 people. I mean, it's crazy. So there's been over $1 million in expenditure on family flights just in this year. Not even at the end of the year. Now we're going to do a little bit of a breakdown based across, all different types of members and the biggest kind of culprits. So the first one, the one that kind of brought it to attention is Anika Wells. She's the Communications and Sport Minister. Why is Communications and Sport grouped together? God knows. Our country is a joke in terms of the MPs and stuff, but that's not really a problem. That is a story for another day. Of course, she's for the division of Lily, Queensland. So basically, a couple of the key expenses this lovely lady got to buy. She took her whole family to this Thredbo ski field, so her husband and 2 kids. It was for a work event, but when I go to a work event, usually I work and then I fuck off. I don't get to go ski for a couple days and spend thousands of dollars of my employer's money, and my employees that happen to be the people paying my taxes who I'm supposed to be serving. But anyway, she also is a loving spouse. She, of course, got flights for her husband to the AFL Grand Final and the Boxing Day Test. And I tell you what, I love a Boxing Day Test. But my employer doesn't fly me out to it, let alone I don't get to dip into the fucking public wealth fund that is the Australian parliamentary expenditure sheet and just fly my husband or my missus out to the Boxing Day Test. I mean, I want to see Scott Boland fucking get 4 wickets, but not all of us are that lucky. She went to Adelaide for a work trip, including a Labour friend's birthday party. She went to Paris for a work trip as well for the Olympics. Sport minister, we'll kind of grant it. She doesn't need to be there. Does she play sport? We're not a European nation. European origins, yes, but she's not playing the sport, is she? So get out of there. Of course, when she went to Paris, she was paying for dinner and drinks for 4 people. I don't know Anika Wells. She's not that big. She's not eating for 4. So I wonder where all the extra plates went. She went to a UN event in New York. Why are you bringing family and friends to there? And Comcar bills for waiting during personal sports viewings for like tennis, NRL. Now, I just want to go through some of the expenses. So she spent $3,000 on Thredbo, $1,300 for her family's portion. Her husband's sports flights were less than $10,000. She spent $1,700 in Paris, $94,000 for New York flights, probably because she all got business class, because when you're defrauding the taxpayers of thousands of dollars, you have to do it in style and comfort, because that lump of cash sitting in your back right pocket, if you don't get business class, you might get scoliosis, misalign your spine. So you always want to be comfortable when you're scamming. Now, she referred herself to the IPEA for audit. She hasn't repaid it yet. She defended the trips as tied to the portfolio duties. And she was moved from her aged care role amid scrutiny. Now, that's just Labor government trying to kind of get away and bring in some of those old voters so they can absolutely wring out the towel and milk a couple more votes before they all cark it and say, oh, look, we got rid of her. No, make her pay back all the money, strip her as a minister, and send her to jail for fraud. I don't get to spend $94,000 on flights for my family from my employer. Look, we've all heard the stories. Oh, when you get the Christmas party and you get the boss's credit card. Yeah, she got the boss's credit card and then racked up a couple $100K of bills. Another one, the Attorney General. Always good to know that even the lawyers are getting in on the scam. That's when you know that shit is good. For a 2023 Perth trip, business class flights for himself and the family. He attended 10 ministerial engagements and then holidayed. No allowances claimed during the holiday portion. Very good. However, $21,000 for flights $21,000 for flights, $16,050 for family flights. Now, it's counted as a partial breach of guidelines, and he paid it back. However, I would just like to say he only paid that back because he got caught out. So, kind of like, oh, I got found out. Now, oh, I didn't mean to do it, only when you got found out. Now, the next one is Don Farrell. He is the Minister for Trade and Tourism and the Special Minister of State and the Deputy Leader of the government in the Senate. He is a South Australian Senator. Now, in November 2024, in Adelaide to Canberra return flights with the wife coincided with a press gallery and reporters' wedding attendance. He also had a broader family reunion, AFL Grand Finals, Australian Open, an Uluru dinner, the Sydney Opera House. Now, a couple expenses. He went to a wedding trip. It was $2,000. he has expensed $116,000. Sorry, I couldn't compute that. He just expressed $116,000. He hasn't announced he's repaid it. His office doesn't respond to queries. The IPEA is probing, and the watchdog's partly under his portfolio, and people are saying that it's his standard entitlements. So if you're able to spend like $200,000 on flights and things, well, if you want to, become the Attorney General. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, for some broader context, there's other people like Sarah Hanson-Young, who is a young, literally in the name, a young senator who is for the Greens, of course, coming out of South Australia, who spent $49,000 for her husband's flights since 2022. $49,000, not on hers. I think you could almost find a way to excuse the argument if that was for a senator. She's flying weekly, going to different events. I understand that completely. Those flights are not for her. They are all for her husband within quite literally 3 and a bit years. I don't know about you, but flying from one major capital city to another in Australia, return is about $350. If you want to work out how many times that goes into it, probably about 60 or 70 flights. Look, mate, stay home on some of the business trips. You've got your own fucking life to live, all right? Crazy. Assistant Minister Pat Gorman from Western Australia, $112,000 on family travel, which is, I mean, nice. $112,000 is probably, I don't know, maybe 60 times what the average Australian would spend on their family holiday once a year. You've somehow managed to do that, 60 times? Pretty crazy. And these are the people that govern you. And the only reason this is coming out, this has all been public information. They're so brazen about it. They publish these things online, and then it doesn't become a problem until like 4 years later. These people think you are dumb. These people are supposed to be your representatives. They are members of parliament. They are representatives of the people. And they're so brazen, and they have such a lack of regard for their own people that they publish their fraud and their theft of the Australian dollar from their own constituencies and brag about it in your face and expect you to do nothing. The last few people I've been reading, they haven't even had a formal probe yet. It's just common knowledge, and the watchdog isn't even doing anything. Steve Gouganis and Marielle Smith also outspent Anika Wells on family claims, and they have no probes by the IPEA. They don't even have anyone really looking at it. Kind of crazy. And of course, just as any good criminal syndicate, any ring of fraud, the captain always goes down with the ship. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, I understand he's got to travel. I'm not going to question he's the Prime Minister. That would be silly of me to bring up his flying, things like that. He has so much more security, etc., blah, 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 blah. But the leader of the criminal syndicate has come out and said that he's defended the rules, but requested the IPEA advice on reforms. Reforms. You know what that means? That means we're going to let them get away with it. We're going to spit in the face of the Australian people. We are representatives of the Australian people. We're a member of the parliament representing the average Joe, you and me, and we're going to look into it for reforms. It means we're going to keep the money that we stole. We're going to spit in your face. We're going to rub your face in the dirt. You're going to like it, and then we're going to go, we promise we won't do it again. Or we're going to change the rules, and we're going to change the rules, and we're just going to find another loophole to do it, and then change that in 5 years. Currently, senior politicians can claim unlimited spouse travel under current guidelines. So if you would like an all-expenses paid trip to, I don't know, anywhere in the world, become a senior member of parliament. And you can say, it comes with the public life. No. Being a member of parliament is a privilege and also a burden, but mainly a privilege. You are representing your own constituents in your constituency. It should be an honor. It should be derived with a sense of pride and a sense of respect that you shouldn't be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars that could go to other things. Think of, if this is only in the last 3 years, think of how long this has been going on for. And of course, there have been other things like Suzanne Ley had a 2017 Gold Coast trip where she resigned, and it led to the IPEA's creation. But of course, they haven't really done much since. Kind of crazy. You can, of course, check the IPEA's public register, but they're not going to do much. They don't really care. $1.1 million in the financial year. Now, of course, the problem is there's not always all bad apples. There's a few good ones in there. There was 62 members of parliament, or parliamentarians, as you'd like to call them, that didn't claim any family travel in the last financial year. So, credit to them, you know. This is just showing that the people in power are basically using it as like a money grab. We're in power. We may as well take as much money as we can. Trade Minister Don Farrell was, like I said, $49,000. This includes $30,000 on plane-related travel to Canberra for his family, and about $3,000 on cars. That's a couple taxis, mate. Fatima Payan from Western Australia was the second highest spender, and she spent $41,000 over this financial year, or the last one, on family travel. $41,000. $41,000. And don't forget, the former opposition leader, he resigned, and he hasn't been in power for a while, and good old PDD, Peter Dutton, somehow managed to spend $36,000 on family travel. Crazy. Of course, Anthony Albanese, got to get in on the scam, but you got to do it a little lower. $28,000, including $13,000 on flights. Of course, Western Australians going to bring up higher bills because they have more to fly. But look, it ain't great. It ain't great. Now, of course, you just got to remember this. These people think you're stupid. They're publishing these stats online. They're putting them out there for the world to see. And you only realize it because there's an article about it. It's going to wash over in a day. It'll be another news cycle. These people forget it. They won't pay it back. And they'll think you're stupid. They'll change one rule. They'll change one line in legislation. They'll change one little asterisk and say, whoa, hey, we called the watchdog. We changed some things, buddy. Huh, watch out, guy. They'll say, you're not that guy, pal. Well, it's time to wake up, people. It's time to wake up.